Welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to grid your photograph that you choose to use for your dynamic perspective drawing, and also how to amplify it so you end up with the same rectangle but just a lot larger. First thing you do is decide whether you want half squares or half inches or full inches. In this example, the drawing is small enough that I'm just going to do full inch rectangles or squares. So over the top, I'm going to make 4 even marks, and then down at the bottom, just remember that you have to bring the ruler straight down. Don't rotate the piece of paper. So line up your 0 to your edge, and then mark the 1, the 2, the 3, just like you did on the worksheet, and then connect those marks. Easy way to connect them is if you put your pen to the top line, bring your ruler up to it, and then find the bottom line, bottom mark, like that. It's the quick way. If you don't want the quick way, do it the slow way. It's not going to bother me any. Alright, so now this way, do the same thing. I rotate the paper, now mark lining the 0 to the edge of the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move the ruler this way. And do the same thing at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using a pen just because it's a pretty dark drawing. But if yours is pretty light, you can use a pencil. Just try not to cover any valuable information, so if the pen is hiding some pretty critical detail on an eye or something, you probably don't want to use a pen. You make your marks like that. Testing, I hope this is on. So now you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares on top, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares on bottom. I'm going to write that down here, 4 by 5. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see my mathematics. So you got 4 by 5. I'm going to draw a little T-chart like this. I'm going to write inches in this little bar, and this is measurement over here. Alright, so in inches, if I multiplied this by 1 inch, you'd end up with a 4 by 5. So you would end up drawing this image on a rectangle about this size, which isn't big enough. We're trying to get to a measurement that's roughly about 12 by 16. A little bit bigger, a little bit smaller is fine, but it's pretty close to a 12 by 16. So I'll multiply it by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Bring the x down. 5 times 2 is 10. And 8 by 10 is just basically a normal size paper. It's still not large enough, so we're going to go a little bit bigger. I'm going to leave a little gap here. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. Is 12 by 15 close to 12 by 16? You're darn right it is, so we're going to move on to a piece of paper now. This is a 12 by 18. Let me back up a little so you can see it. Alright, so this is a sheet of paper I'm going to use. These are found in the cabinet close to the entrance to the classroom, just on the bottom left of that wall. Just look in there. It should be labeled 12 by 16s or 12 by 18s and 18 by 24s. So now you're going to need a pencil. Hey Kevin, can I borrow that pencil? Or a pencil? Just a minute. What you're going to do is I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I have this gigantic rectangle that I'm supposed to draw this dog in, right? I just need 4 squares from left to right. And how many squares do I need from top to bottom? If you said 5, then you're right. So no more, no less. This should be a 4 by 5, just a lot larger. How large do our squares need to be? Well, this little T-chart that you should have done should reveal that answer to you. Each square is now 3 inches. Notice that? Should be pretty obvious and a pretty simple way to think about this. So now I have one 12 by 15. Each square is 3 inches large. So I bring the ruler up to the top, and you mark the 3, the 6, the 9, and the 12. Guess what? Look, that gives us 4 even spaces. Can you even see that? You want to draw these pretty light. The squares for your final drawing shouldn't be permanent. It should be temporary. So I'll bring the ruler down here and do the same thing. 3, 6, 9, and 12 is the end of the paper. Because this paper is really long and this ruler doesn't reach all the way across, what I'm going to do is mark the 3, the 6, the 9, and leave the 12 to the end there. And I'm going to connect the top to the middle, just a little bit of extra work if you don't have a yardstick. And in the middle to the bottom, and I'm running out of space here, so it's kind of hard to work at your desk. Draw this as light as you can. Notice how faint my line is. It's erasable. If I erase it, you shouldn't be able to trace or see any trace of the former line. You can do that all the way across. I did one last time. Mr. Swenson, can I help you?
We're supposed to do the field, so I'm just going to check with you and see if you're okay.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm not even going to be here next week. Baby's due on Monday.
Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't give you any duties.
Nice. 3. I probably should have told you about that.
Yeah. I guess.
I lost myself. 369. Sorry, guys. 12.
So, take a look at that schedule, because it changed to 1-2 on Wednesday afternoon, and 3-4 on Thursday afternoon.
Will you repeat that? Sorry.
Wednesday afternoon is 1-2, and Thursday afternoon is 3-4 on the schedule in the afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. So for your planning purposes.
That sounds fantastic.
We did that for you.
You did that for me? Just for me?
To give you 90 minutes so you can do a class instead of, art class needs 90 minutes, so nobody else mattered one way or the other, so we fixed it.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Do you know how to connect this computer to the Wi-Fi?
All right, and here we go. We're going to connect
Today, this morning, I'm tired of it.
top to bottom like that. And you're going to do that all the way across. Sorry about that. A little side conversation here. 6, 9, 12. I want you guys to realize something real quick. So now that I'm done connecting all my squares, should have a grid. It's really faint. There you go. Let the camera focus on it a little bit. The top you should label the same way I labeled my dog drawing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The side should be A through E. C, D, E. You may have noticed that in this situation I have an extra row at the bottom, and I'll just chop that off with some scissors or my cutting, my paper cutter, and then that gives us the perfect grid. And now you're ready to draw. I won't be demonstrating that in this tutorial, but just stick around, and I should have one for you pretty soon. All right, thank you.